welcome to a stage the founder of Fintonic, Lupina Iturriaga. Wow, impressive. Lupina,
how are you?
Pleasure as always. Please take a seat.
Thank
I'll
you.
be with you in a second. And to complement your talk, I want to also invite the co-guests. So Vinoth, partner from Draper Spirit. Please patch in. There you go, Vinoth. Nice to see you again. How are you doing?
Very good, very good. Excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you guys, both of you. So I'm going to start with you now that I have you connected here, and I'll be right back in a second with you. So Vinoth, you've been working with a lot of companies. You used to run a micro angel fund and invested in a lot of startups through crowdfunding. So based on your experience and what you're been seeing now as being a partner, what are the key technological layers behind the banks of the future? We had a conversation a moment ago precisely about this, right? It's not about the product, it's sometimes about the layers behind this that are really key to the innovation aspect.
I think if you peel the layers behind a bank, an incumbent bank, one of the things you'll find is a very high cost-income ratio, typically in the 70–80% mark. And that means for every dollar of income they make, they're spending 70 to 80 cents servicing it. And so when we spent a bit of time thinking through what those deeper layers look like, it turns out there are sort of three areas that banks are mostly spending all their money in. It's specifically in payments, in fraud, and in core banking systems. So those are the three sort of technological layers, I would say, at a very high level.
Yeah, no, definitely. I was just thinking about the fraud one, which is sometimes kind of getting a little bit out of control. What type of tech models do you think are going to win moving forward? There's a lot of talk about what works and what doesn't. What's your opinion on that?
I think, well, interestingly, I mean, we've watched the Tokyo pitch earlier on. We're finding more and more incumbent banks think about how they partner with startups. And so there's always the conversation about build versus buy versus partner within an incumbent bank. And very often the partner is that first conversation because they sort of fail the build conversation. So the question is really, what kind of technology will you partner with? We're seeing a fair amount of movement into cloud-native payments. And we're also seeing a fair amount of movement into cloud-native infrastructure software, things like core banking systems. I mean, you have to bear in mind, right? There is a fundamental difference in how big banks think about technology. In their minds, it's typically CapEx. So it's this huge, big budget they set aside. They're going to spend 100 million a year just managing their existing core systems. And so when you get them to shift from that to talking to a company like Tokyo, they have to go from a CapEx to an OpEx mindset to go, actually, there's an element here where it's recurring monthly, and that is a huge leap. It starts to touch into the nervous system of how a bank thinks about how it spends money.
Yeah, I was thinking about the CFO of any bank having that conversation. Like, look, this is how it's going to go now. So, Vinoth, thank you very much for answering the questions. And let me go back to Lupina. You guys have a stellar record, right? You've achieved so much. You were some of the very early fintech companies in Spain. So I was wondering, now that you've achieved like core status and you've kind of broken through a lot of the barriers, being the trailblazers that you are, what's next for Fintonic?
Well, in Fintonic now we have over 1 million users, and of course we do aggregate all the banks and create cards in one place so they have everything organized within the app, so we can tell them alerts when something was wrong. But from the very, very beginning, also, we tell them if they're overpaying the receipts, if they're overpaying in their phone receipt, insurance, energy bills, and we do the switching for them, so we really save them money for the very beginning.
I'm a user, by the way.
That's great. So we help them saving thousands of euros from the very beginning, but also we give them their own credit score, so we tell them how good or bad they are for the banks, which API they do deserve if they're going to apply for the loan. Bear in mind that in Spain and Europe and most countries, we don't have a positive war, so the people cannot get a loan from a bank that they are not clients. So leverage on this credit score, we have built a great marketplace, a loan marketplace, so users within Fintonic in less than 2 minutes, they can get the best loan personalized for them from all these entities. They are from the top banks and the top financial entities. We have it in Spain and Mexico also. So it's very great for them because in less than 10 minutes, no paperwork, they have the loan. And also, we help them, so organize, saving, we help them to have the loans cover their financial needs. But also, I can announce today that we are launching also an account and a card that's going to be really unique with features that they don't exist right now, leverage also in these capabilities that I mentioned before. Of course, with the Spanish IBAN, so they can have all their own payroll, all their everything there. You can pay all over the world with no cost at all. It's going to be huge. It's going to be amazing. And this is what we want to be, like be an active agent in putting back the power into the user's hands, giving always what is best for the user, no matter which bank they belong. So it's very important for us to be this trusted advisor that gives transparency and never force to get our own product, because of course we have our own balance, but we don't force them to that. No, we always get what is best for them.
Well, first of all, let me tell you, congratulations on the new launch. I was thinking that, you're in a very sweet spot, the fact that you've been aggregating all this information and now being able to digitalize the end-to-end situation in 30 minutes. That's absolutely impressive.
3 minutes, in 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
They can get a loan in less than 3 minutes. It's really, really amazing.
You know who's going to love this? The real estate industry. Well, Lupina, thank you so much for joining us here. Always a pleasure. This is your house. Thank you very much, Vinoth, also for joining us from the other corner of the world. Well, other corner of London, I'm guessing, right?
Yes.
There you go. Well, it's around the corner. Let's put that. Thank you both very much for being here.